Hey, welcome back, you guys. It's just Shae Davis, and I was coming on today. We're going to make some sauerkraut. It's going to take us approximately 10 days for the entire fermentation process to take place. But today I'm going to get you a good start on it. And of course, you guys see me opening my new fermenting crock. So I'm excited to use that. And we only need 2 ingredients for this recipe, so stay tuned. If you hadn't tried sauerkraut, I would encourage you to do so. It has some good probiotics for your gut health. So stay tuned. If you hadn't done so already, please go ahead and like the video, subscribe, and hit that notification bell. See you there. Do the unboxing first, just so you guys can see all the items that comes in the crock, with the crock. And so in the box, everything's nice and secured in here. Yes, this is the actual crock. Maybe I should get that out last. Okay, so this is the lid. Oh goodness, so they got it packed in here really good so they don't break, which is great. So this is the lid, and this size is a gallon size. So I'm going to make some sauerkraut because you guys know that's really good for your healthy bacteria in your body. I'm sorry, I drew a blank there for a second. And these are the weights that came with it. I'm putting it immediately in warm soap and water. You know, anytime you get any new spot, you need to clean it. So I just made a fresh thing of warm soapy water, and so I'm cleaning it there. As a matter of fact, let me look at the instructions, you guys. That's what I normally do when I buy something new that I'm about to eat with it. But it says, yeah, mild detergent, wash in a warm mild detergent, and that should be sufficient for first time use. So as I'm taking it out, I'm just putting it straight into the sink here. I'm right next to the sink here, and I'm gonna wash it. And we're gonna prepare it. And this one comes with a pounder also. So goodness, I should have had one of my. Oh no, sorry. How about I say? I didn't realize that came out. So move this to the side. And look at my crock, y'all. I've been wanting one of these for years, and I just never ordered one. So there we go. Look at it. It's a deep well. That's where my whatever you're gonna ferment go off in that well. And here's the plunger to it. So you guys will see me use these in just a little bit when we make our sauerkraut. So we're gonna get all this washed up, and you guys, I'm putting, like I said, in warm soapy water, which I'm right next to the sink, so I have it in warm soapy water. So that's where I'm putting everything at, and get it cleaned up real good. And we're gonna let it air dry while I prepare to make the sauerkraut. So I'll wash this and I'll be right back. We have 2 heads of cabbage here, and so we want to start off by taking off the outer leaves. We're going to make our sauerkraut. So we need the big leaves so that we can push the liquid down and keep the air out of the cabbage. So if you get air in there, it can create bacteria. So let's just pull off a couple of the big leaves on the outside, and we're going to set those to the side because we're going to use them for sure. This one's really tightly wound in there. So. And I'm going to rewash these leaves just to make sure. And I've already washed the cabbage. I washed it in, y'all know my favorite. It's a little vinegar, baking soda, and water. So I let them set in the sink for 15 minutes. Okay, so you get the cabbage, get the outer layer leaves off. Just get you a couple of them. I'm gonna get some from this one's a little bit big of a head, so I'm gonna take some off of here too. Just maybe like 2. Because this is just the point of it, is to cover the cabbage at the end, so that we can push it down. Try not to break them up, but I seem to be breaking them up here. Either way, okay, we got those off. Let's get those off. We're gonna cut that cabbage in 4ths so that we can cut the stem out of it. And we don't want that part, so I'm gonna cut the cabbage in half. I told you I need some new knives. I need to really get in position to be able to get some new knives. And we're gonna cut the core out because that's not, you don't want this hard part. So we're gonna cut the core out. You're gonna do that by cutting it almost like in a little triangle. So you're just cutting it right above the core. And you just cut it out, it should come right out. And you pop it just out just like that. I'll do that to all 4 of them. I mean, both of them. Okay. It's not exact science, but if you can get it like a triangle, it'll pop out easy. So you just cut it like in a shape of a triangle here. So, these are happen to be organic cabbages, so it's 2 heads of cabbage. Yeah, I promise you, if you have a good set of knives, it'll let you, you know, I'm obviously working out at this point, building muscle, but if you have good sets of knives, you don't have to work this as hard as I'm working just to cut this out. So I just have to get to a position that I can invest in some knives, and then I'll do it. So we got that out. And let's get this, because you can actually see where the stem cuts off at. And so this, I'm just going a little bit above those, and like I said, in the shape of a V. Coming right out. Okay, so now that we got all of the cores out of cabbage out, we're just going to discard these. We don't need those for anything. So I'm going to use my food processor to slice these up. If you don't have a food processor, all you have to, I want to do them real thin just because my kids are eating this and they don't necessarily desire the taste of sauerkraut. So if you just needed to cut it yourself, just, you know, do thin slices, and you can do it that way as well. I'm going to use my food processor to cut mine up, and then I'll be right back. I don't necessarily want you guys, and I have my food processor sitting here. Once I use the food processor, I'm going to put it over into this bowl. So I'll be right back. Okay, so you guys, I couldn't find my appropriate braid for my food processor, so they came out really, really thin. You don't want it to be this small. So I'm going to go ahead and chop it by hand and put it in there, because that's old school. If you know how to do it, you know how to do it. So I'm just going to take my time and just chop it really, really thin. And I'll put it in there, and we're going to salt it as we go. So I'll be right back. Let me get this chopped down. So now you want to take, I have 2 heads of cabbage, so I should use about between 3 and 4 tablespoons of salt. So as I was cutting and putting the cabbage in, I was layering with the salt. This is just Himalayan salt. So you just, I'm going to put it in here and put it over the cabbage. And I'm going to let this rest for like 30 minutes. The reason why I'm going to let it rest, because the salt is going to make the vegetable swell. And once it swells, then we're going to extract the juices just by massaging the cabbage. So I'll be right back after like about 30 minutes. We're going to let this rest. Okay, you guys. It's been over 30 minutes. Make sure your hands are clean, nice and clean. We're going to remove the top leaves. These are the ones that we're going to put at the top of the sauerkraut once we, at the beginning when we make it. So now at this point we want to just massage it with our hands. And we just literally want to squeeze and squeeze and squeeze the cabbage until we get the juice out of it. So you're going to just literally just massage it until you get juice coming out. It's going to take a little bit because, again, I had 2 heads of cabbage. So I'm just going to turn it and I'm just going to massage it. it down. That's what you want to do, break it down. Get all the juice, as much juice as you can get out of it. You want to do that. You want to squeeze basically to get out like the wetness out of it. So you can see the juice popping out. That's what you want to get, juice, more juice. And just get as much juice as you can get out of each one of them. So I'll be back. Okay, so now you guys, if for some reason you can't, you have limited mobility or something in your hand, make sure you get you a pounder, and you can just pound your cabbage down. So this is what it looks like. I started off squeezing, but then I decided to move to using the pounder here. And so I'm just kind of pounding it down, getting all the juice. And I don't know if you guys can see the juice in there, but see all that juice? That's what we want. We want that juice right there. So let me put it back. See all that juice right there? That's exactly what we want. So as I keep, the more I mash it, the more juice is coming out. And we're going to transfer it from this bowl into my new fermenter crock pot. So here, my fermenting crock. So let me get this done. And then we're going to start the transport. And I'm going to plunge it a little bit more when I get it into the crock. I'm going to beat it down just a little bit more. So hold on just a second. Let me get my crock over here. We got a lot of juice left in the bowl, and I'm going to transport all of this juice, the rest of this cabbage, into this crock, this fermenting crock. And I'll let you guys see what it looks like. So that's how much juice we have initially. And then I'm going to continue and do it some more plunging to see if I can get some additional juice out of it. Because what we want to do is smother the cabbage in juice, in its own juice. And we're going to keep it, we want the juice to be above the cabbage at least a ½ inch or so. And then we're going to put the weights on. So hold on just a second. Let me get my plunger here. I'm just going to push it down until we get us that much juice. We're going to push the cabbage down as flat as we can get it. And we'll have juice coming over. So let me work on that. Push it down. Okay, so after some additional mashing, there we go. I think that's good enough there. So we got the juice there. And what I'm going to do to ensure that it stays immersed under, I'm going to wrap it with some of those leaves that we cut off earlier. I'm going to put that in there because we just want to make sure it doesn't get any air to it. And then I'm going to actually put a weight on top of it. So I think it's going to be really, really secure. Because you guys know I'm going to use all my pieces just because I have them now. The last time I made sauerkraut, I did not have my, I didn't have this, the tools. I just made it with my hands, and I didn't have this, this crock. So I'm going to push those down further so that they're under water, or they're under the juice. Can you see that they're under the juice? So they're under the juice as well. See the juice on top? Okay, so with that, we just know that the actual sauerkraut will not get any air to it. So now I'm going to add the weights. We have 2 weights. And this is the first weight. So that'll keep it immersed underneath the brine. I'm going to put the other weight in there. Good firm push. Yeah, I can feel the liquid coming above it. So see how that, can y'all see that? So to stay underneath, and that's exactly what we want to do. We want to get it so that it has no air to the actual sauerkraut. So, and from there we're going to put the lid on top. And so I put the lid on top, I'm going to fill this well with water, around the outside, because that's going to keep air from getting to the sauerkraut. And we're gonna let this sit for 10 days. And after the 10th day, we'll taste it, and I'm sure it'll be nice and sour, so we'll see. So let me get some water, and I'll be right back, and I'm going to put that in the well of it so you can show that this would not allow water inside, would not allow air inside. You have to check the well to ensure that water's here. You want to check it pretty much every day. And if you do that, you don't have to burp it. You don't have to take it off. Just ensure that the water's in the well. And that'll keep bacteria out. Okay, so now we got the water, and I'm just going to fill this well up with water. I'm just going to make it just nice and full. And again, this will keep bacteria out. And you want to check to ensure that it has the water inside the well every day. And as long as the water's there, we know that that the air is not getting to the sauerkraut. So if the air gets to your sauerkraut, it can create bacteria. So you want to check that daily. If the water's there, just leave it covered. If it's not there, just add more water. Okay, so thank you guys for watching. And well, of course, we're going to do a taste test once the sauerkraut is done in 10 days. We'll do a taste test and let you guys see how the kids liked it.